All right, welcome everyone to our next episode of the Member Success Series, Align for Success. And we have a really special episode today. We are focusing on groups. We're going to talk about groups on Alignable a lot because groups are basically our foundation. And I don't know, Brittany's the head of groups, so welcome, Brittany. Um, and I don't know if you guys know this, but when I came on board with Alignable, there were no groups, there were nothing. And they hired me to be the head of groups. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but we started groups. And I'm so excited with all the stuff that Brittany and her team has been doing to just make our group so amazing. We have two amazing special guests today. Brittany, I'm going to let you introduce them because they are on your team of group leaders.
Yes, absolutely. So thinking about, some of the founding groups, we have Nadya here with us today, who has the Women's Solopreneur Group. And that group is growing like crazy, like 100,000 pushing members of incredible women
Wow.
entrepreneurs, just incredible. And it is a great engaged group to be a part of. And then my dear friend Rebecca, who is an incredible leader of our largest group on Alignable, the Ask SMB Owners Anything group, which Sue, I think is probably like one of the first ones you helped create, with, well over 200,000 members. And it's just an incredible engaged group where all business owners across the country and Canada, every industry can come together and ask each other for advice and ask and share and add value for each other. And there's some incredible connecting events that Rebecca hosts in there as well to bring the group members together.
Awesome. And go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everyone what you do on Alignable, and then we'll let Chuck introduce himself too.
Awesome. And so, yeah, I'm Brittany, like Sue said, and I have the privilege of kind of carrying the torch that I feel like Sue lit for all of us by really keeping these groups together and growing. We started with a few groups that were kind of really core groups, and then we've grown into so many different branches. So now we've got tens of thousands of groups on the platform, everything from being community specific to affinity based, like our women's groups, veterans groups, to industry groups where you can really go in and meet great referral partners and potential customers after you've built a relationship first. And so I get the privilege of bringing on new group leaders to host existing groups as well as create new communities on the platform. And if any of you have ever been to an event, especially our Smart Connect events, I also help to organize all of our Smart Connect events, helping you to join the right events and also host your own events on the platform.
I love it. Chuck, introduce yourself.
That's
My
great. Boy,
co-host.
that's a tough act to follow.
I
Okay, so
know.
here we go. I almost want Brittany to introduce me. I think she'll do a better job than I will. But anyway, a big fan of Sue and Brittany. I want to say that right off the bat. Two of my favorite people to work with here. Because, again, we're all dedicated to all of you. We just want to make you as happy as possible. We want to make your businesses as big as possible. And, so part of what I do is many of you know me from, and I know Nadya does, from the contest that I brought to Alignable almost 7 years ago now. And that's going strong every year. And Brittany and Sue helped me out with that a ton. And Nadya was in the top 50 or somewhere in there. Nadya was a huge contest participant and winner. So that's one thing I do. The other thing I do is I run all public relations here, and I also right now am doing the newsletter as well. So I'm always looking for your success stories too, not just for this broadcast, but also for potential newsletter pieces. How much you've grown, how much your network has grown, what your tips are, all of that. So yeah, so I wear a lot of really interesting hats here, and it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. And I didn't introduce myself. My name's Sue Brooke. I've been on Alignable as a member for many, many years, since about 11 years ago. I think I met our co-founder on the Queen Mary in Long Beach, California, and learned about Alignable. And so I teach people how to use it. And fun fact, I live and travel in a motorhome all over the country, and I've been meeting all of our members for the last 4.5 years. So let's have our two guests. Nadya, just real quick, the name of your business, like what your business is, and the groups that you run on Alignable.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Barbara. My name is Nadya Tatsch. My business is Coaching by Nadya. I work with us who sit for a living, want to work out more, eat better, have a positive mindset about wellness, lifestyle. And the groups I lead, there are 3 groups. So co-lead is Women Solopreneur Group. I'm receiving some messages for leaders. They're here in this, so let us know in the chat who is here. The second group is a life coach industry, and that is actually approaching to 50,000 close.
Wow.
And the third group I just picked on, little baby, women in leadership. So very excited.
Awesome. And how long have you been on Alignable, Nadya?
Sue, you were the one who posted in one of the groups and said, who wants to be a moderator? And just a few days before, I'm sitting in my studio on the sofa thinking, it would be nice to like lead a group or something. Interesting, I saw your message. So that was 2021, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. Wow. And I've met Nadya in person a few times in Texas. So,
Yeah.
And Rebecca, tell us a little bit about you and when you started Alignable and what groups you run.
Well, I'm Rebecca Melançon, and I started Alignable. Oh my gosh, I talked to Eric Groves before he actually did Alignable and
What?
reviewed those first few passes of, does this make sense? Does this look right? And then joined Alignable when I ran the Austin Independent Business Alliance in Austin, Texas.
Wow.
And then stepped out for a while after I left AIBA, and then came right back when I started with a partner, the Local Business Institute, which is a nonprofit. Our focus is to help small local business owners. We do online on-demand training and education. We do all kinds of marketing. We do information. We do advocacy. We're all over the map. Everything small business, that's us.
Awesome. And you run just the one, the Ask SMB Owners big group?
Yes, yes,
Okay, cool.
I do run just the one group. It's enough. I don't know how you do 3 groups, Nadya.
Rebecca, I think I just came from Smart Connect in your group. It's a large group. That's enough.
It's a big group. Yeah.
Exactly. Chuck, you want to throw out the first question for these wonderful ladies?
The first question. Okay, it's going to be a real softball here. Okay, I'm going to throw it out to Rebecca. Rebecca, what's the best thing about being a group leader on Alignable?
Oh, the best thing. I don't get 25 things because
you can list all 25 if you want.
25.
I love long answers.
I absolutely love the groups. And we have a broad-based group. Ask SMB Owners Anything is exactly what it sounds like. We're everybody, and you can ask us anything. One of the things I love is helping people to feel welcome. You know, when you join a big group, it's you sort of feel like, is this going to work? Is this going to do anything? Am I just another name in the 250,000 people? And so I like to welcome people, ask them to introduce themselves, bring them into the group, and point out the things that they can do in a group. Absolutely know your goals. Like, what are you looking for from Alignable? But be open to finding things that you didn't know you were looking for. That to me is one of the most fun surprises. I use our group all the time to ask questions that I'm stuck on, because with all kinds of businesses, there are multiple experts on everything small business. So when I am screaming at my computer at Facebook, or I'm trying to figure out how to do something, there is somebody in our group who knows how to do it. And I can ask that question and get all kinds of wonderful advice, just from technical advice to sage advice to all kinds of things. So that to me is a really important part of leading a group, is to have people feel welcome, teach them how to really utilize the group to get the most out of it. It's meeting your peers. And I know that everybody's trying to grow their business, right? We all want sales, sales, sales. I get that. We're all there. But there's some days where you just need to talk to a peer. There's some days where you need to go on and say, has anybody ever had this happen to them? And then it's wonderful to find out, oh my God, it's not just me. This happens to other people. And what did you do about it? That is enormous. So I feel like we get data, we get information, we get advice, we get technical help, we get therapy, and it all comes in each group. So I love doing that and being a part of that and encouraging others to participate. I also host a Smart Connect Weekly, which I dearly love. It's such a great chance to get to talk to people and hear what they're thinking about, what they're doing, and what they got from their meeting. I love it when they come back from their 7-minute meeting, and I always say 2 minutes of, what would y'all like to share? You know, what did you get from your Connect? I love those stories.
I do the same way. Okay, Nadya, let's hear from you. I love that.
What else didn't she cover?
That was a beautiful answer. I was like, wow, okay. Are we still on? No, I was like, that's so great.
So what's your question?
So what's anything about the best thing about hosting a group or
You know, a while ago, I shared stepping up into the leadership, Nadya, don't cry, helped me to step up as leader in my life. That is why I believe Brittany pointed, Nadya, take this group, Women in Leadership. Honestly, in all areas, not just leading a group, but leading my business in the way I want to lead the group, in the way I want to lead my health, in the way I want to lead conversation with my children. I often say it's all connected. How we do one thing is how we do everything. Yes, it's a huge platform. When I say 9 million business owners, people's eyes like round, really? And that is very important to set your boundary. Or my boundary too. When I say you, it's us in general. What is my boundary in my business, in my time, in my life, and in my network on Alignable? So overall, really tapping into my internal potential. How do I want to develop myself as a leader, starting with boundaries, but also, you know what, opening up myself as an individual. I'm an introvert. I know you don't believe me. I am an introvert. Yes, sometimes virtual is easy, but it's actually not. For some people, it's the opposite way. So this one helps me, and I started going to alliances as well to just show up and be seen. But it's expressing and learning to talk to one another, talk to a group. That's why Smart Connects are so great and masterminds. And just really learning how to lead from inside in the groups in my life, but also open up as an individual and not to be afraid. There's no right or wrong. It's all the journey.
I love it. And so my question is this, because I know we have a lot of people in the room and we have some brand new people in the room as well. The biggest thing that I get asked, and I teach people how to use Alignable all the time, and I get this question a lot. So I want to hear from all three of you, including you, Brittany, because I know you have access to all the groups too. What are some tips on how to act in a group? Like what to post, what not to post? Like what have you guys seen that works, that help you grow your network and your business, and what doesn't work? I would love to hear both sides. So Brittany, why don't you go, just because you have
I want to get picked on first because I've got so many answers, but you know, I think highlighting two things that Rebecca and Nadya both shared first about kind of their experience of why they love groups most. Think about, I just moved to a brand new location recently. And when you move and it's kind of far away from where your life was before, you have to find new everything. And so as a parent, when I moved to this new town and I needed a pediatrician, I didn't just want to go and Google pediatrician in my area. I wanted to join a Facebook moms group and see, okay, what do the actual moms of kids in this area suggest? Who are the best pediatricians? I had a trust in that aspect. And so I knew that if I went to the Facebook Moms group, that they would have the best information about the local pediatricians in my area. Groups on Alignable offer that same privilege. So when you are struggling in an area or you want some advice from people that are highly recommended or subject matter experts, we have groups for that. And so you need to really think about what is the problem that I have? And what am I trying to solve? And then you'll be able to find a group that has it. So maybe it's you want to learn how to, use QuickBooks. Well, we've got a QuickBooks Ask and Learn group. And so you can go to that group and you can get really great, genuine free advice from both people who have used QuickBooks and pro advisors who can teach you how to use it more effectively. We have that for just about every topic, from digital marketing, SEO, content creation, branding, everything in between. And so because you can go into those groups to get that value, you also need to reflect on, how am I showing up? Because different groups really have different purposes. So you may have a local community group. And if you go into the local community group and you say, hey, local community, I want to tell you about this great product that I'm selling, but it's only available in stores on the other side of the country, that's not a helpful post to that group, right? In the same way, if you go into, a women's group, you may be able to share a little bit more transparently about your story and your journey. And if you then try to share that in a group that's business operations, people kind of might look at you like, this is not what this group is for. This motivational quote doesn't belong here. Like, we're really looking for advice on how to get the structure of our business aligned. And so think about the problem that you're trying to solve. Find the groups that will have the people who can help you solve them in a collaborative way. In the same way, think about the message that you're trying to share. And before you ever share it, think about the audience in that place. So a great thing is, if you want to share something exciting about your business or a milestone you've achieved, that's a great post to share with your network. That may not be the best post to share in a specific topic group, because your network are the people that you're already connected to, that you've built some trust with. So that's a great post to share with your network. But if you wanted to post into a group and get the most value and start to build some great relationships that can lead to great business opportunities, know your audience and think before you post.
I love it. How about you? Let's say go to Nadya. What are some things that you've seen, like posts that people have made that work really well, and the ones that don't? Maybe some of your good, the bad, the
Yes.
ugly.
I have to share this one. This is the best and the worst. So maybe you got a little bit by now. I like motivational things. I just like to inspire, helps me too. So I usually do once a week blog for myself, for my business, when I post a blog. And then on Tuesday, speaking of which, be consistent. On Tuesday, I sit down and I think, how does this message resonate with my women solopreneur group? And I rephrase it that way. And usually it's rephrasing. I want to ask, actually, just I got it a while ago. Ask a question. And it's amazing how, and of course, the post is going to be around motivation, life, health. And the answers are amazing until there's a psychotherapist. I resonate with your comment. In my psychotherapy, by the way, here's a link, services. We can help you to dig deeper. And I'm like, this is not. So, and the link and promote, you can mention as a professional in this sphere, I encountered da 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 da. But it almost like occurs that they promote the psychotherapy for the inspirational post. It's just the worst and the best, and I just get to laugh. And sometimes Alignable does block those posts but yes.
Yeah.
The good practice, I believe the one that I really took from our Alignable networking is to not being afraid to ask questions, depending what sort of question. Mine is, again, I like something about life, something about things we struggle. In our Women Solopreneur group, in fact, I remember it's 5 of us co-leading the group. And we sat down one day and we wrote down a bullet list of everything woman solopreneur is dealing with. Time management, kids, running your own business, how to eat healthy on the go, things like that. And guess what you receive in that group? Each day, one co-leader posts on that specific topic. So it's a Terrific Tuesday, Nadya posts. Linda, she's on this call. She's Wellness Wednesdays. Want a great recipe? That's on Wednesday in our group, and so forth. So that's to me the best. And go and comment if something resonated with you or not. Feel free to share. Just be polite.
I love that. And I just want to reiterate, like, I hope everybody heard her, because, you know, asking questions and so that people will answer that and it gets some engagement going. But the people that don't hijack a post, I know that was that's really the word what she was talking about, the psychotherapist who hijacked it just so she could promote herself, which that's not a cool thing to do. So I'm glad you brought that up, because I see that once in a while and people try to be real tricky with it. So how about you, Rebecca? Good, the great types of posts that you like your members to post, and things that you've seen that don't work very well.
Well, sort of building, excuse me, on what everyone has said, I really focused on authenticity, because I think authenticity is absolutely crucial to successful communication. And so I look at posts, and I've seen people who post a question, but it's like it's not a real question. It's like Perplexity wrote questions for them, and they're not designed to help anyone really, or elicit good responses. I think when people come on and they're absolutely genuine, and I love being the person that exposes that innermost of, oh my God, I don't know how to do this. You know, people are scared to say things like that. So sometimes as a leader, when I say, I'm working on this and I don't know how to do this, can anybody help? It's a genuine, authentic question. I'm having trouble with something. Those kinds of questions get the best responses, although they're not immune to being hijacked, but they build the best relationships. You know, when it's like in Smart Connects, when I remind people that their mic and their camera has to be on, because you cannot build a relationship with two initials on the screen. I've tried, it doesn't work. And it's the same way in the posts and the comments. Every one of us has the opportunity to present ourselves as the expert in the room by the answers we give. But telling someone that you have a good deal on this or that isn't becoming the expert in the room. It's just, you know, strong arm sales, which don't really work. If you come on and offer genuine advice, and I'm not saying you have to give away your whole product, but everybody has advice about what's in their wheelhouse, right? What we know about, what our business is about. Well, here's a suggestion that you can try. Then people gravitate back towards you. They look you up, they find you, they come get you, because they know that you genuinely care and that you know what you're talking about. And that is always the best way to approach it. You know, let them come find you and decide to buy whatever it is you're selling. But in the meantime, show yourself as a helpful, interested peer, and what you'll find are people who come to you.
I love it. Chuck, what's your next question for these great ladies?
Okay. So Nadya, has being a group leader, and again, you've got 3 groups. You may have signed up a 4th during this program. Who knows? But anyway, what has being a group leader done for your own visibility? You know, you are a helper. You like being a giver. You know, that showed up in the contest. It showed up all over the place. But what has that done, you know, for people who are like, oh, I wonder if I should be a group leader? Like, you know, are there some benefits there where, you know, being that leader, you are in the center of everything?
You just answered my question, my own.
I've got to shut up with the questions, I think.
Well, you know, with the exception when we give our 30-second commercial, who I am, what I do, I always say top 50 in the country and Canada on Alignable. I think I say it correctly. And then I make a pose and let everybody respond. And usually like, whoa. And I put it on my email signature. I put it on my website. When just in fact this morning, somebody went on my website and her response was, wow, you're really solid. It's honestly, y'all, it's a great marketing. It's, as I mentioned at the beginning, it helps me grow as a leader, but it also humbles because sometimes we grow in that status and then at some point I got to smack my head. Just really honor the, it's not as maybe simple or light, not sure which word I'm looking for. It still takes consistency. The success takes consistency. And that's where I really have to lay out my expectations. In fact, just yesterday, someone I had one-on-one from Alignable, I said the expectations of knowing what I'm getting into so I can have that success of being consistent and not like tapping in, oh, it doesn't work, and then the group is homeless. We don't like it for pets, we don't want it for groups. So does it align with, in fact, who I am? The reason I took the third group on, because it just totally aligns who I am, and I was asking myself where I am going. That totally aligns with where I'm going. It's a part of my nature. So that's actually really, really important to pick up the group that feels like you, feels organic, feels natural.
Awesome.
And then it doesn't matter how many people, 30 people or 30,000 or
Right.
300,000.
Right.
What about you, Rebecca? How does it help you get more visibility and more being a leader like this?
Well, one of the things I was looking for when I came to Alignable the second time, because the Local Business Institute is a fairly new nonprofit. We've been around for 3 whole years now. We needed name recognition. We needed visibility. We needed for people to know who we are. And that was one of probably my biggest goal when I came to Alignable, because I feel like if people know me and they know my organization, the business comes, right? That's how life works. And at the Local Business Institute, we don't talk about business as B2B or B2C. We talk about it as H to H, because all small business is human to human. And the thing about Alignable is we're all human beings. This isn't a business listing where you put your name and website and whatever. This isn't something that, oh, we paid for this ad. These are human beings talking to other human beings. And I don't know anywhere else where you can find that. So for me, being a leader of a group has really raised our profile, both on Alignable and outside of Alignable. Like Nadya was saying, I advertise basically that I'm on Alignable. It's on our website. I tell people about it. I promote it. I say, we have these great networking events on Alignable. You should come check it out and see us and do this. And so it's in that way, it's an endorsement in that I'm sane enough to run a group on Alignable. So I must be okay, right? I'm not crazy. So I think that's that to me is huge. And again, establishing yourself as the expert in the room. This is part of what it does. And if you do it right and are giving to people, they come back, and then they come back, and then they come back again, and then they come to your business.
I love it. Okay, another question for you guys. So I know that a lot of people ask me this too, so I'm asking questions that people ask me all the time. I know Alignable, if you're on the free account, you're a guest. You want to be on one of our membership levels, either the basic verified, premium, or premium plus. And I always say premium is like my favorite because you get so much value. And in order to be a group leader on Alignable, you need to be a premium or premium plus member. So Brittany, what would you say the benefits to being a premium member even if you're just in the groups interacting in there? What are the benefits for that?
Yeah, so I'll definitely break it down kind of in those two ways because not everyone is here to lead a community, but if that is something that you're interested in, it's a huge visibility play and it's a great way to establish yourself as a subject matter expert. So, like everything that Nadya and Rebecca said, absolutely, that's going to be one of the quickest ways to grow your network, grow your platform, get the visibility that you're looking for by really adding value. And so in order to do that, you have to be premium, but that is kind of one of the biggest perks of being premium is that you get to build this whole community. Think about Rebecca now, because she was all about kind of giving back. Now she's, in front of 200,000 plus business owners as the leader of that community. It's been a huge visibility. Same with Nadya. She's looked at as a leader in the health and wellness and life coaching space, and as someone that, so many of our women on the platform really look to. And so because of that, their insights, their profile visits are through the roof. You also get to host events if you're a group leader. So if you're someone who wants to be kind of connecting people on these Smart Connect events as the host, or you want to host an educational event and share some of those great tips that are in your wheelhouse and be able to get in front of an audience, that's another really great premium perk. So all of that happens within groups as being a group leader or a co-leader of that group. But even if you don't want to be the leader of the community, but you really just want to start to build relationships on Alignable, my favorite part about being premium is that sometimes it's really hard to police yourself unless you are the greatest content creator and you really know what you're doing. Sometimes it's hard to tell, like, is this post resonating? Did I create something that people actually want to jump into for this discussion? But if you're premium, we give you those insights. So you can go and you can jump into a discussion, or you can create a discussion in any group. And then we'll actually tell you, hey, 5,000 people have seen this post. Of those 5,000 people who've seen this post, 200 have clicked on it to read more about it. Of the 200 that clicked on it, guess what? 10 of those are your ideal referral partners. 2 of those are your ideal customers. And then we'll go even one layer deeper and it's going to tell you, hey, those 10 referral partners and those 2 ideal customers, they're really checking you out. So it'll tell you, hey, one of those ideal customers has actually clicked on your profile 8 times. So then that tells me they're really interested in something that I've got going on. That's a hot lead. Like, we've blown past warm lead. I'm going to go straight to that person. They may have never even messaged back on that discussion you've created. But that single piece of content that you put out there, that valuable discussion that you created, has now generated all of these warm leads that can be great people to add to your network, to build relationships with. And it takes the guesswork out of what's working and what's not working and who to reach out to. It takes that aspect of kind of cold calling, just sending messages, sending connection requests, just wherever on the platform, and actually helps put the right people in front of you and tells you exactly what they're interacting with so that when you message them back, when you connect with them, the value is immense for you. And we see that that takes you so much further.
Ooh, love it. How about you? Oh, go ahead, Rebecca.
Can I say something to add to that?
Yeah.
One of the things that I do is I like doing Smart Connects as a participant. So I'm a host on some of them. But and I want everybody who's listening to know that these answers were not rehearsed or scripted in any way. And y'all may be aghast at what I'm about to say. But one of the things I do is I use those 6 connects as almost a focus group. So if we're thinking about doing a new class in something or a new type of product, I'll go on a Smart Connect and meet with people and of course hear about what they're doing and what they think. But I'll pitch just the idea and say, what do you think about this? Is that something that would be of interest to you? We don't have it right now. We're just thinking about doing it. And people are so forthcoming with like, you're close. But what would really be perfect is this. And it's amazing. And I can do that on Alignable all day long. It's pretty remarkable.
I love it. And those of you who haven't been in my Mastermind with Sue group, we do masterminds there. And there's several groups. I don't know, Brittany, if you know, but I know there's several groups where like the Networking for Introverts, the Construction and Trades host masterminds, which go right along with what Rebecca was saying. I don't know if you're doing any of them, Nadya, but those are amazing, where you just, people get in a room and you have your advisory board on the screen and you get to ask a question, and then everybody gets a chance to help you, and then you get to help the other people that ask the questions. And to me, I mean, I was doing a mastermind before I even started at Alignable. That's kind of why they hired me when I first met Eric and Venkat, but that's my favorite. And that's why I love Alignable. It's like this giant mastermind where you can go in any groups and ask a question and get help, but also hosting these mastermind groups as well. So cool. Next question, Chuck.
Okay, here we go. And yes, to Rebecca's point, none of this is rehearsed. All of it's off the cuff. All of it's just very authentic, just because we don't have time to rehearse any of this stuff. So
I
Right.
look at it as table topics at Toastmasters. You just get a
Oh,
quick
there we
question
go.
and you have to have an answer.
it's pretty much that. So, Rebecca, I wanted to ask you about some of the relationships that you've made. I mean, you're leading the one of that is our biggest group, isn't it? Or it's pretty close.
Yep.
Um, how about some of the just everyday relationships that you've built within that group or across Alignable in general?
Oh, I absolutely love the relationships, because there are people I see at the Smart Connect every week. And every week it's like, hi, how are you doing? And they'll tell me, oh, you know what? I talked to somebody at a Smart Connect last week that I think needs what you do. And
Right.
I said, well, refer them. And they're like, oh yeah, I can do that. Let me refer them. So that to me is huge, that you have that network and that community and that whole ecosystem happening. But I've also met a partner on Alignable that I use in one of our new products. We created a new product with a partner that I met on Alignable. And now we're talking about other things we can do together, because we both love and trust each other and have built a relationship. I've never met this guy in person. He's in Tennessee. And we joke about that. We joke about, someday we're going to have to meet, because this is like too good. But to find somebody who then says, hey, I've been talking to this other group and you know what they do, and I've been thinking about this idea. Would you be interested in that? Those kinds of conversations are very hard to find in life with someone that you trust. The fact that I met this person on Alignable, built this on Alignable, and have a whole new product based on that relationship is, to me, thrilling.
Oh my God, that gives me the chills. That's so amazing.
That's a zinger. Fantastic. How about you, Nadia? How about just, on the human relationship level? Just meeting friends, meet new friends, anybody.
Hey, I have an advantage with table topics. I have a couple of minutes to prepare. So I don't know, y'all, if you see, I'm preparing. Okay. I was thinking there are probably at least like 3 levels of relationships that I have built and building. Number one, actually my leaders of all my groups, it's just we get together at least once a month and we just together, we are creating how we want this group to be, what's wanted in the group. We laugh. I'm sorry, I have to tell you like a quick our laughing every month story, because it's swimming solopreneur group. So we have education on gender every single month. We talk about who to let in the group, who is not, and it's just so good when we laugh together. And the second level, I believe it's leaders of other groups. Like, I'm so curious who is out there on Alignable World leading other groups. If you're there, please connect, let's talk. It's just, it helps again to kind of have that where I'm heading type of feel. And the third level, and I don't even like, I can't put it like this is the best, this is next, but there's probably as often as we talk to each other. But the third level, I wrote it down, it's consistent show uppers. Is there a word like that? Consistent show uppers. I know your face, I know your name. If you're on Smart Connect, when I come to Smart Connect, in fact, there's someone who became an ambassador in my local community. He was on the Smart Connect I led today, or just consistent participant or consistent poster in the group. We see each other. That's it. Going back to consistency creates success. And in fact, yes, I was just thinking one of the original, she still leads a group. I'm going to invite her to be my presenter in my membership in June. She doesn't know yet. Don't tell her. I'm going to bring the news. So it's things like that. It's like, how can I engage them into what I have to offer? Obviously, after you clear what you're offering and how they can organically morph into what you have.
I
I
love
hope I
it.
answered the question.
No, that was great. I want to piggyback on what you said because consistency is something that I've heard is one of the best things to have. You know, people say, how often do you log in on Alignable? What's your system? What do you do? You know, and some people log in and then a month later they come back and some people are just have a consistent, I don't know, system on Alignable. So I would love to hear all three of you actually, maybe Brittany, what you've heard because you talked to so many of our members. What would be well, we'll start with you two ladies first. What is your Alignable, I don't know, system or procedure? Like, do you get up in the morning, do a certain thing? Do you check in every day? How much time do you spend on Alignable? What would you tell a new person, maybe your advice to them about being on Alignable? Okay, Nadya, go first.
How to rock star your networking on Alignable. So I know how to be a rock star on Alignable. So in fact, we started doing this once a month between me and my leaders. We sat down and we were brainstorming what are those essential habits that we do consistently to have success on Alignable. We came up with 5 steps. Are you ready? So it's like 5 essential habits. In fact, I'm stepping back and I'm looking at my business. What is Alignable? This is sincerely my marketing time. Marketing, this is my networking time. So how much time do I allow based on how many hours I allow for my business, right? Boundaries is very important. So again, expectations of in what boundaries of time do I want to be consistent? Once you got that time frame, and I sometimes put a timer. Okay, I give myself 30 minutes. And so here's what we do. This is probably if you just joined. In fact, we did the poll in my solopreneur group. Majority of members are just joining within a week. It's incredible. So if you're in that position, there are 5 essential habits. Make sure your profile is nice, tight, and clean. Alignable, consistently updated. So make sure, Nadya, go back and clean up your profile. Don't look at it now. Number 2, find your groups. For me, it's at least 1 alliance and 2 or 3 and 3 virtual groups. Probably no more than that. Again, we want to be consistently showing up. Speaking of third habit, be seen. Maybe post once a week, something that is useful, comment under somebody else's post, and show up to the meetings. In the show up to the meetings like Smart Connects, number 4, well, actually one-on-one will be part of it. I schedule one-on-one. Have Calendly. If you're not sure, 15 minutes is fine. They will honor that the time is short and tight. If you want more, 20 to 30 minutes. The habit number 4, this is where Nadya needs to be a little bit more consistent. Follow up. Thank you for meeting, send a card, quick message, even just record in my spreadsheet. My CRM is still easy, spreadsheet on Google. And number 5, repeat. So yes, it's a profile, group, be seen, follow up, and repeat.
Oh, that's good. How about you, Rebecca? What's your
And then we send them to Alignable University and Sue's masterminds, by the way. Always mention there. Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
very good. Oh, I love that. That was really clean. Okay, Rebecca.
Wow. I don't have a list of 5, but what I have found that works for me, because I want to say to people who are just getting on Alignable, it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so much. And you look at this, and after a while, at first it's exciting, right? And you're thinking, oh, look at this and this and this. But then after a while, it's just like, oh my God, how can I possibly keep up with this? I do run a business. So this is just overwhelming. That's where, as Nadya has said, boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Look at what works for you. Look at what you're trying to get out of it. For me, that's 15 minutes every morning. And I can't say I'm there 100% of the time, but I try for 15 minutes in the morning. It's a bite-sized piece that's doable for me. And I look at people on my group who have asked questions. Can I answer them? Is it in my wheelhouse? Can I make a suggestion to them? Can I recommend a group, a specific industry group that they might want to look into? How can I help the people in answering questions? So I try and answer questions for about 15 minutes. And then I have the Smart Connect, which, I do questions, icebreaker questions and stuff. So it's about an hour and a half for me. And then I try to spend about an hour a week just trying to connect with new people. Sometimes I'm looking for people in a certain industry. So I'll go in and do a search and try and find people that I want to connect with because of the industry they're in. So I do that. I look at my profile, like you, Nadya. I think at any moment it could be improved at any time. It's always an ongoing thing. So that's how I approach it, is looking at it through the lens of what can I manage? Because the worst thing in the world is to have a goal that's unattainable. So if your goal is, oh, I'm going to get on there and just tear it up and spend all this time on that, and you can't do it. You can't spend 24/7 on it if you run a business, which I assume we're all there for that. So find what works for you. For a lot of people, I think it's an hour 3 days a week. Is it an hour once a week? Is it I can only do this on weekends and at night? Whatever it is. But a take that I look at is on consistency is all my life I've been told I'm stubborn. And I finally found I'm not stubborn, I'm persistent.
Ooh, I like
Persistence
That's why we're
pays.
talking. Yeah.
Persistence always pays. So you are better off doing 15 minutes,
Yep.
3 days a week, if that's all you can manage. But keep it up and do it. And not set a goal for yourself that you can't maintain.
Ooh, gosh, golden nuggets.
Excellent. These are just great suggestions.
I know. And Brittany, I know you work with thousands of our members all the time. Any tips that you want to give to our audience, especially newbies, on how to act on Alignable and, get the most out of it?
Yeah, I mean, so I think the biggest thing is, and I'm going to date myself for a second, but back when it was still called Twitter and you just join, right? And the first thing that's in your face is collecting your interests. And so you go with a really big, wide net, right? Oh, yeah, that sounds interesting. Yeah, I want to learn about health and fitness. Yes, diet. Yes, parenting. Yes. And before you know it, you've clicked like 20, 30 different topics that you're interested in. So what does that do to your algorithm? It is the most hodgepodge algorithm you've ever seen. I've got a reel about, diet, and then I've got a reel about movies, and then I've got a reel about parenting, and then I've got a business quote. And it's really overwhelming. The same thing is true about Alignable. It can be overwhelming if you're casting too wide of a net. To simplify it, the best place to start is, again, what are your goals? Who are the people that can help you, either by being a part of your network, being a great referral partner, or being a potential client that you want to start to nurture a relationship with? Find the group where those people hang out. Don't click all the groups. Click, like, Nadya mentioned, click one who's in your local community, especially if your business is hyper local. Choose a group that's really, broad, like Ask SMB Owners Anything, if you've got a national reach and you want to be able to make sure that there's enough people from across the country that you can get in front of. Do something that's in an adjacent industry that makes a great referral partner, where they've got some of those clients and customers that I want to connect with in that second degree. And then go to where some of your, potential clients or customers could hang out. 3 to 5 groups max. Because what that's going to do is it's going to set up everything else you do on Alignable to make a lot of sense. Your group's feed is going to start to work for you instead of against you, because you're going to start to only see discussions that are relevant, that you can either add value to or extract value from. From there, you're only going to see events that you want to join because the people you said you want to meet are hanging out in those events that are in those groups you've chosen to be a part of. So it's going to start to get really tailored. It's going to start to get really specific. And then if you kind of want to take it to that next level and you decide to get a membership with us and you start to get all those insights, now you're hanging out in the right room, the right people are in front of you, they're starting to engage, and then we're going to tell you exactly who those people are and start to cherry pick those next people that you should connect with. And that's going to be a game changer. It's going to simplify it. And all of those tips that Nadya and Rebecca just mentioned are going to start to get a lot easier because every time you get on Alignable, every step you take is going to be intentional. And that makes the long game a lot more rewarding and can really accelerate your growth.
My head's exploding.
Ditto.
And last thing there too, if it's not too late for you. So if you were like me and you've already subscribed to all the groups, you can leave a group. And I'm telling you that as the leader of all of the groups. It's okay to leave a room that no longer serves you. So if you are in a group and you're like, you know what, I'm in like 50 groups actually, because that's what I did when I joined Alignable, 5 years ago. Go into the groups that are not serving you, where you're not regularly engaging, and right at the top left corner around the directory area, it'll say leave group. Click it, and then all of those things that are not serving you, all that content will no longer show in your feed, and you're going to help to really tailor it. Obviously, you're not going to leave Ask Us and Owners anything or any of Nadia's groups, but
It's okay.
Right, yeah.
Like,
First
what do you
up.
say?
yeah, definitely show up in a room that serves you. If you're setting boundaries, that's where it starts. Leave the groups that don't serve you and start really hyper focusing the engagement in the groups that do.
Awesome. I would definitely want to have a couple minutes for you, Brittany, to tell everybody how to apply to be in a group. But before we do that, let's see if you two wonderful ladies, Nadya and Rebecca, any last minute tips, suggestions on, especially for new members or maybe members that are coming back for after they've been gone for a while. What are your just things that you really want people to know about Alignable and just being able to help you grow your network and your business that way? Who wants to go first? Let's start with Rebecca this time.
I think there's been so much good advice here. I mean, to what Brittany was saying when I first got back on, I joined 15 groups and just, I almost walked away going, what have I done? Because it is just like, I don't have time for this, So I would even be tighter than what Brittany's saying. I would recommend find 2 groups, join those 2 groups. Maybe one of them turns out not to be the right group for you, so drop it and join another group. But take it in bite-sized pieces, because it isn't going to help you or anyone else and all the valuable information that you have to share if you run screaming from the platform and can't manage it. So make it manageable. Be intentional. That's one of my favorite words, is don't just float through it. Be intentional at what you want and what you're looking for and what you have to share, and work it. I want to, for everybody who mentions to me, it's like, I don't know, 6 million or 7 million or 9 million people. I just thought people would just come and buy my stuff. It's like, so when you prospect, how many people do you talk to before you get a client? Like, how many calls do you make? How many emails do you send out? What's your prospecting chain look like? And look at this as the same. You have to go find people. You have to woo them. And it's no different on Alignable as it is in the outside world. But, but do that, because I can guarantee you that your people are here. You just need to find them.
I love it. And time's running out, but Nadya, your top tip or 2 that you want to make people walk away with.
Mosquito. Just maybe to summarize is, again, think of I'm thinking it's my marketing time. What's my networking in this marketing time? What's my time boundary? I really like in the morning, in the afternoon, evening, whatever I have, I set my timer and use those essential habits. In my case, those are 5 of them. And it's repeat, repeat, repeat. Plant the seeds of consistency to grow the garden of success. And the final thing I want to say, please reach out to other leaders. We love helping out and answering questions I don't know what it is about. It's almost like I want to help my children. I want to help. Just ask any questions you have. We are happy to, or at least I'm happy to give our time. Here you go. Yes, that's how we want to treat everyone who just joined in Alignable.
Yeah, just like Chuck and his kitty cat.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Bo
agree.
wanted to say hi to everyone. He's been down here the whole time.
I'm
I-
about to get a cat. Ah.
Oh yeah, I lost mine a couple years ago, but yes, I mean, I love what everybody was saying about being intentional, being consistent, and help people. We've heard that every single week. The most successful members on Alignable are exactly like these two wonderful ladies who are here to serve and help others, and it comes back to them a thousandfold, right? So I really appreciate you two being here. And Brittany, I'm going to let you take it away by any other of your last minute tips. And if anyone wants to be a leader, a group leader on Lineable.
Yeah, so I just posted the link in the chat. It's just a landing page so that you can learn a little bit more about the program, talks a little bit about some of the qualifications. And, the great thing is we're here to support. So that may be you've got a great idea and you want to create your own group on Alignable and you want to kind of start from scratch and build something special. It could be that you just want to get more active and involved and you want to be able to maybe host some events or, participate in these discussions with that extra visibility. You can become a co-leader in a group that's already existing. We've got awesome leaders on this platform who want to support you and want the support back. And they love having people join as part of their leadership teams. So the link is in the chat, but I will also share it in a follow-up email to all of you who've registered and attended today. That way you can kind of take a look at the opportunity. But I think really just, final closing tips is no matter if you're going to be a group leader, a co-leader, or just more engaged in the groups, those biggest things is be consistent, add value before you try to take it, and just know that Alignable will work for you and not against you if you set your intentions. So tell us who you want to meet in your profile, join the groups where those people hang out, and then watch as your feed starts to become exactly what you're looking for, and then just show up as often as you can and jump into those conversations, and you're going to see a lot better results.
Oh my
Terrific.
gosh. That was like golden, you guys. This was one of our very, very best episodes, wasn't it, Chuck? What do you-
Yes, it was terrific.
We want a recording. People asking for
Yes,
recording.
recording will come too with that email. So we will send you a follow-up email with the recording and
Yeah.
the link that we talked about. And of course, go connect with Rebecca and Nadya, guys. I think one of the best tips that we heard during the big contest this year was connect with people who are well connected.
Yes.
It really doesn't matter if they're going to be your customer tomorrow, but I bet you they've got a lot of your customers and clients in their network. And on Alignable, once you connect with someone, you get to see their whole network. And that second circle where the magic is. So find the people who are well connected, find the givers, and these two ladies are some of the best there are.
Yes, and I just
Thank you
posted
so much.
a bunch of links in the chat of the Alignable University group, the insider community, which is for all members, paid members on Alignable. We're doing amazing things in there. How to be, I have the group leader program and the ambassador program. And there is the YouTube. If you guys can go, this episode will be posted later today, and you can go binge watch all the other episodes and the mastermind with Sue. And if you're not a premium member, there's a little coupon for you in there. So thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
Thanks,
you for
everyone.
including us in this. This was awesome.
Awesome. We'll
Absolutely.
see you
Awesome.
guys next time. Reach out to them. Connect with these two. Okay. See you later.
Bye-bye.
See you next week. Thanks, everyone.